He doesn't just watch the market, he is the market. People give him equity out of respect. In his last life, he was himself. He is the most knowledgeable man in the world.
I don't always invest, but when I do, it's in the future. Stay dangerous, my friends. Welcome to the Wealth Mindset with Garnier. Listen, at this point, we know the numbers. The Black community owns less than 3% of the wealth in this country. Our average net worth is 10 times less than of white families. Our average income is less than 6 to 8 times that of white families. And we keep talking about the same problems, right? We know how we got here. We know what the dynamics are, but how do we fix it? There's no shortage of strategies. There's no shortage of ideas. There's no shortage of opportunities for us to make money and build wealth. But all of that is individualistic. And so the question that I keep bringing to the public is, how do we change it collectively? How do we close the racial wealth gap and acquire more of the wealth in this country? Because one thing I say is that we have a wealth gap, but we don't have a value gap. There is no shortage of value in our country. Our talents, our abilities, our gifts, our ideas, our work ethic, our creations, we create the value. We just have to turn it into wealth. I'm a planner. Before I execute anything, it's very important for me to have a plan of how I'm going to achieve a certain outcome. And as of now, I don't think we have a plan. We have people talking, we have people putting out ideas, but we don't have a real plan. And a plan starts with a directive. And I believe the Black community has 3 directives that we have to focus on. And if we achieve those things, the racial wealth gap will close in unison. Those 3 things are economic independence, unconscious cooperation, and impenetrable cohesiveness. The first goal that we need to have is economic independence. Individually and as a collective community, we need to be economically independent from the system that obviously is taking resources from us. A lot of people don't know this, but the Asian community has the lowest voter turnout, but they have the highest income per capita. That means that they're thriving economically without the need for political participation. If you go to any major city, it's very likely that they have a district called Chinatown. That's an area where you see nothing but Asian businesses, Asian banks, Asian hospitals, and all of the things necessary for a community to survive in one concentrated area. In that area, they share resources, they share money, they borrow and lend from one another, and they create a support system for them then to go out into other parts of the city and live their lives. Again, they have the highest income per capita and the lowest voter turnout. They are economically independent from the system. That's something that we need to be focused on. Our own economic independence. First, that starts in our own households, right? How we manage our resources, how we save and build for our future, and how we think about generational wealth from generation to generation. Right now, each generation is starting over from scratch. Normally, we don't die with assets. We die with bills and with obligations. And so the next generation has to start their wealth creation journey without any foundation to build on. That's the first thing that we have to stop. We have to stop the bleeding. We have to protect what we have financially, and we have to create a path for the next generation to own more. I always tell people, I don't care if you own this much of the dirt. That should be passed to the next generation responsibly. And so we need to focus our directive on protecting what we have. That's how we become economically independent, right? We need to be stewards of our money. We spend over $2 trillion a year. I don't think we have an issue making money. The issue and the goal should be economic independence from the system, right? The second goal or directive that we should have as a community, and I think this is one of the most important, is unconscious cooperation. I use that term all the time. Unconscious cooperation. There's a reason why we have to say buy black, because subconsciously, we don't automatically think to buy black. We spend our money with everybody, but we have to consciously remind ourselves to buy and support black businesses because it's not unconscious. Unconscious cooperation is a silent understanding of what needs to be done. We don't have to talk about it because it is understood. You don't see a campaign to buy Latino. You don't see a campaign to buy Chinese or buy Japanese because it's already understood. They have unconscious cooperation among themselves that encourages them without having to talk about it to support one another. But we have to undo all of this brainwashing and all of this animosity that has been built within our community. And we have to create unconscious cooperation. It should be understood that if you my brother, I'm gonna help you. If you my sister, I'm gonna look out for you. We don't even have to talk about it. It should be understood that when I'm looking for a product, when I'm looking for a service, I'm gonna support you automatically. It is unconscious. I don't have to think about it. Right now, all this negative propaganda pits our businesses against one another. We have people that don't support black businesses just because. And so until we have this unconscious cooperation, we're going to continue to have to encourage one another and talk about it until it becomes automatic. That's the second thing we need. The last thing we need is impenetrable cohesiveness. The reason why COINTELPRO, which was an FBI-led operation meant to destroy the black community, the reason why that was so successful is because they were able to buy black people. They were able to find black people that were willing to betray their own community. They were able to find people who were willing to infiltrate the same community that was helping people. And if we don't have cohesiveness that is impenetrable, then it's always going to be easy for another community to come in and offer somebody something to destroy the whole thing. One of my favorite movies is the movie 300. And if you know anything about that movie, it's based on a true story. When the Spartans fought off the Persians, and 300 warriors were able to fight off tens of thousands of Persians because of their strategy. They had a very unique strategy and a very unique fighting style, and they used the land to be able to protect them. And the way that they fought is that all 300 men would join arms in unison and join shields in unison to create a protective armor against the entire group. That protective armor made them impenetrable. No matter how many spears and knives and weapons they fired at them, they could not penetrate that 300. And so because they were impenetrable, they were able then to go on the offense and attack. And they killed tens of thousands of Persians because of that fighting style. And the only reason that they were defeated was because of betrayal. Because somebody betrayed them, told their secrets, allowed their armor to be penetrated, and eventually they had to fall. And I feel that way about our community. Yeah, we're in the minority. Yes, we have less resources. But if our cohesiveness is impenetrable, we can knock out the giant. We can fight off tens of thousands, if not millions, that are up against us if we are cohesive. But as long as we have Black people that's willing to take a check, as long as we have people in our community that are willing to take resources, that are willing to take money, that are willing to sell themselves out or sell their entire communities out for money, we're not going to be able to advance. So those are the type of people that we need to identify and eradicate. But everybody else, we have to have this unconscious cooperation and this collective cohesiveness that cannot be broken or penetrated by outside groups. If you don't think like that, as far as I'm concerned, you're against us. But these are foundational things that don't cost money, that don't require resources for somebody else. These are foundational things that can change our situation. We just got to focus on it. We have to have that as a part of a plan. We need to be economically independent. We need unconscious cooperation with our own, and we need impenetrable cohesiveness. We can't sell out for money. Our purpose, our goal, and our unity has to be more than just money. It has to be about more than that. Money is just a facilitator, but that's not going to save us. And so I think if we prioritize those things as a goal, I think that we can close the wealth gap in one generation. We just got to lock in and stay focused.
If God is for us, then who the is against us? Conspiracy or not, strategize and plot. Buy back your block, real estate and stocks. Stack what you got, hold down your spot. Strike while you hot and take a man up top. Conspiracy or not, strategize and plot. Buy back your block, real estate and stocks. Stack what you got, hold down your spot. Strike while you hot and take a man up top. Conspiracy or not, strategize and plot. Buy back your block, real estate and stocks. Stack what you got, hold down your spot. Strike while you hot and think a man up top. Conspiracy or not, strategize and plot. Buy back your block, real estate and stocks. Stack what you got, hold down your spot. Strike while you hot and think a man up top.
Conspiracy or not, strategize and plot.